So what message do you have to people out there that have been addicted for many years? What do you say to those people?
Well, I mean, the help is out there, and if you just look for it, and I mean, they got meetings everywhere, and people like Mike, that are willing to help and will do whatever it takes at the end of the day to help you, and you just gotta stay connected. I mean, go to meetings and get a sponsor, work the program, and I mean, it'll work,
Yeah. And I think one thing that's super important, we talked about this previously on the show, it's about hope.
Yeah.
And hope is on the screen behind me. But for the person out there who thinks that maybe they've been addicted too long, such I'm sure you had those thoughts go through your mind when it was 16 years.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's never too late, to turn your life around and do something good with it.
Hey folks, this is Thaddeus on the Road to Recovery podcast, which is hosted here at the Flagler Voice Podcast Studio. The Road to Recovery podcast is sponsored by the Flagler County Drug Court Foundation, and Mike is the host here. He has a very special guest on, and I'll let Mike introduce him. Mike, you have the ball.
Thanks, I appreciate it, Thaddeus. Well, I'm here today, everybody, with another gentleman that I met and was part of the drug court program.
Yeah.
His name is Matthew. And I'm looking at him, and I'm looking back the day I first met him. Myself and Mr. D were out at the jail having meetings with some possible people that might come into drug court. And Matt was one of those people. And what a difference that I'm looking at that day. But similar to last week's podcast that I hope you've listened to, with Phil Tracy, Matt is, again, one of the people that I think finally got to the point when he was in the jail that he knew we needed help.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And he was gonna agree. He wanted to come into the drug court program because he knew he needed the help. And I'm going to let you tell a little your background story, where it started, how it started, where you were, and we'll go back and forth from there. So basically, Matt had been involved heavily in opiates for quite a while. And Matt, tell your story. How did you get hooked?
All right. Well, when I was 13 and a half, I was in a really bad car accident, and I had to have 4 back surgeries. And the doctors prescribed me medication, and they didn't tell me it was that addictive when they were giving it to me. So, I mean, I just progressed and kept going to doctors, and every time I go to a doctor, it's bad news, and they just want to push more meds, and I was just over it. And that was 16 years of my life. I'm 31 now, and yeah, so I mean, I don't even remember what it was like to be normal before.
Yeah, so it started when you were 13, not even 14 years old,
yeah,
with the accident, with the surgeries, the pain meds to help you get through that, but it just kept continuing.
Yeah.
So every time you went to a doctor or a different doctor, they still kept prescribing. I remember that morning that Mr. D and I talked with you, and you said that you had maybe 1,000 pills at home.
Yeah, probably at least.
Yeah. And I remember the question I asked: if you come into the program, are you going to willing to dump all those, get rid of them? And you said yes.
Yeah.
So at that point in time, you really knew.
Yeah, I was just done with it. I mean, this is an everyday thing, and it just got old quick.
Okay. It got old quick, and you weren't going to get very much older if you had continued.
Yeah, no.
No. You were headed in that kind of direction.
Yeah.
So, if you don't mind me asking, what got you into the Green Roof Inn? Which, for those who you are listening that don't know where that is, what it is, that's the Flagler County Jail. What got you there?
Well, I had gotten kicked out of my house, and So one thing led to another, and started kind of stealing and doing everything like that just to get by, and caught up with me.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, have you reunited with your family?
Yes. Yeah. I got my family back. I got my house back. Everything.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm back in the will.
So you went from 13 and a half to 30 before you?
Yeah, 30.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
That's an incredible journey, and I'm sure that there are some times of that journey that you want to forget,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and that. So you come into the drug court program. How did that help you?
Well, I mean, it was just accountability. You know, I mean, being held accountable for everything I had to do and making sure I did it and stayed clean and everything throughout it. And, yeah.
And now you had recently received. How long your little coin, or
Yeah, I have 16 months.
16 months?
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
After how many years?
16, something like that. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you got a month clean for every year that you were under the weather.
Yeah.
That's, and it's given you a new life.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just having my family back and just everything that comes along with that. I mean, it's a blessing, I guess.
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely incredible. So what was the program like? What did it entail?
Well, I mean, in the beginning, it was a lot of different stuff you had to do, like community service and go to classes and everything. But I mean, like I tell everybody, even fellow drug court members that I still talk to this day, I mean, it's just attendance. That's all it's about. Is if you can attend everything and do what you got to do, then you're fine. It's not that hard.
No, but you do have to have a mindset that you want it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, if you want it and then you do it all, I know the judge likes to get up there and say this is probably the most difficult program the judicial system has to offer.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't think so. I mean, once I got into it and the ball started rolling, I mean, it was, I mean, pretty just attendance. That's all I can say is just show up to everything, go to classes and
Meetings.
meetings. Yep.
And since you have completed there, are you still doing all of that?
Yep. I still go to my meetings, and I mean, even when I'm on vacation, my sobriety doesn't stop. I go to meetings wherever I'm at on vacation, and just gotta stay connected.
That's incredible. I also know that you spend a lot of time helping other people in the program, both past and present.
Yeah.
You encourage them, you show them what you can do. And that's, and I've said this time and time again when I have had other people here, what we see in you is what keeps us going and enabling us to keep helping people.
Yeah.
Because if it was all negative, we probably couldn't survive it.
Yeah.
But it's looking at folks like yourself that have finished what you're doing. You've been clean for 16 months after being under the weather
Yeah.
for 16 years.
Yeah. I mean, at
Oh.
least 16 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know, because we stay very close in touch, Matt still plays a big part in the Flagler County Drug Court Foundation now. He's there to help in almost everything that we do. He's at our meetings. He helps us when we do First Friday and any of the other events we do. So he's one that has, again, given back constantly. And we're very grateful for that, because we need that.
Yeah.
We need that. So what would you tell somebody other than you just attend? What was that day or that time that you said, I'm done, I got to do something about this? What caused that?
It was honestly just being sick and tired of being sick and tired, you know, and just, yeah, I mean, it's a lot. Just having to wake up every day and figure out what I'm going to do that day to not be in pain, or, yeah. And then sitting and in boys camp for a little while. Didn't
Mm-hmm. Didn't like them bologna sandwiches?
no, I didn't eat them.
No. Were you back then? Were you in any of the other programs that the jail offered at the time?
No,
Okay.
never.
How long were you in before we got involved with you?
40 days.
40 days. Okay. And how did you hear about us, or who referred you to the drug court program?
Well, my mom went to a a gun show and met Mr. Mike and told him, said, I need you to help my son. And he talked to her for, I guess
Yes,
a couple hours there, and
I think so.
yeah,
Yep.
and then came to see me in the jail.
That was it. I do. I think I met her at I think it was the gun show here in Palm Coast that we
Mhm.
met, and she heard me talking to a couple other people.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I think she heard me talking to Alan Lowe, who was part of our studio here, about what was going on, and then stood there until I was done talking with them and said, hey, you think you might be able to help? I said, I don't know. So she told me your story.
Yeah.
Then I went and put the referral in, and then Mr. D made the arrangements for us to go out there and interview you and go on from there. So it's incredible. The gentleman that is on the podcast last week had a very similar story. I think when we met Phil, he was in the Green Roof Inn, and also, and as he explained, he only had 2 weeks left before, and he knew if he left there, he was either going to be dead or end up killing somebody else by mistake, or just going down. So he asked to get into drug court and stayed in jail until we were able to get that, because we had to transfer him from another district and all. So when I look at you two guys and remember you when, and now look at you now, it's just an incredible story.
Yeah.
It's an incredible story. Folks, this is the reason that when we talk about reducing stigma, it's the reason you got to do it. If we keep talking about people that are been in substance abuse, that they're nothing going to go nowhere, that they can't do anything, they're just nothing, they're just bums, all that kind of stuff, they'll stay there. But if we can offer them an opportunity and encourage them and in giving them hope, okay?
Yep. It definitely doesn't define you.
No, it doesn't define you at all. And that's what we need to do. So, folks, if you're out there and you want to participate in what we do, we're always looking for more volunteers to help. As I've said in the past, we need volunteers and we need some financial support. We are a nonprofit organization. We're all volunteers. So we're out there trying to help and do things. And what we do that, let's say you're out there and your car broke down and you didn't have enough money to fix your car, you're in the program. So we'll buy the parts, and we got volunteer mechanics. At this point now, Matthew is also one of those. He is a volunteer mechanic to help other participants if they need if their cars worked on. We do some job training. We do some other stuff that's out there. So we need your help. We need the public's help. We need volunteers to come and help us do some of the things, use your gifting, and we need funds. We have a program called the Club 100. We're looking for 100 local businessmen, business people, and or people, just in general, to commit to $120 a year. That's $12,000. That would take care of most of our budget without us spending an enormous amount of time on individual fundraising. And that's important. So if you'd like to be part of that program, you want to give me a call or email me. My number is 401-864-6997. My email address is mfeldbauer, that's F as in Frank, E-L-D as in David, B as in boy, A-U-E-R @gmail.com. Look us up on Facebook, Flagler County Drug Court Foundation. You can look us up, for those who are out there, to legitimize it. You look on Sunbiz, and officially we are a 501c, so we are a nonprofit. We need your help so we can continue to help people. If we have good weather, we're down to first Friday every month. Last month we got rained out, so we'll see what happens this month.
Question from the audience. So we've had a couple people in here that have had some addiction for a long time, and it's incredible to hear those type of stories and the recovery of it. That's what's the real incredible part. So you were struggling with addiction for, is it 16 years? Did I hear that
Yeah,
correct?
roughly, yeah.
So what message do you have to people out there that have been addicted for many years? What do you say to those people?
Well, I mean, the help is out there, you know, and if you just look for it, and I mean, they got meetings everywhere, and people like Mike, you know, that are willing to help and will do whatever it takes at the end of the day to help you, you know, and you just got to stay connected. I mean, go to meetings and get a sponsor, work the program, and I mean, it'll work, you know.
Yeah. And I think one thing that's super important, we talked about this previously on the show, it's about hope.
Yeah.
And hope is on the screen behind me. But for the person out there who thinks that maybe they've been addicted too long, such I'm sure you had those thoughts go through your mind when it was 16 years.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's never too late, you know, to turn your life around and do something good with it. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful.
It really is. When you think of the length of time and of the few people we've talked to so far, 16 years is not the longest. I mean, the gentleman who was here right before will be his podcast just last week. 31 years. And a young lady whose podcast is coming on very shortly, or already has been on also, and hers was the same thing. You know, don't know where to live. You got thrown out of your home.
yeah.
Lauren, who was here doing hers, was living under the bridge. Phil was the same thing, living in his car. It just, you know, and some of the most phenomenal things is families reuniting.
Yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, I never would have thought, I mean, it was bad. Like, my family wrote me off completely. Didn't want nothing to do with me. Didn't care what I was going through, or, I mean, they were just done. Because just everything I put them through. Late nights staying up, wondering about where I was or what I was doing. And, you know, I mean, it's nice to have everybody back in my life, you know?
It is. It is. And we hear these stories frequently. We have mothers that have their kids have been taken away. They've worked their way through the program and were able to get their kids back. That's just, I mean, it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe. And, you know, the substance abuse can do all kinds of damage.
Yeah. But you gotta change your surroundings, you know? They say people, places, and things. I mean, I don't really like that saying, but, you know.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, you just surround yourself with people that are all clean, sober. I mean, that's what you're going to stay as, you know?
And that's something you have to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, when they're talking about people, places, and things, no matter where you go,
Yeah.
you're going to make that decision.
Yeah. Yeah, because, I mean,
Was
I'm
it-
originally from Jersey, and I moved down here and thought I was going to change everything, and it didn't matter. I mean, I fell right back in the same rut, so.
Yep. No, it's there no matter where you go. So that decision, sometimes it's easier to move out of that comfort zone of where you are and move into something that's unknown. But if you don't have that mindset that this is what I want, it's going to find you and you're going to find it.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen. So again, it's a decision. We're available to help, but people need to want the help. We can't force our help on anybody.
Yeah. If they're not
It
ready to
doesn't
change,
work.
then they're not going to. They're not going to change.
It doesn't work that way. It works if you made that decision. You made that decision.
Yeah.
And and hopefully when you make those decisions, you will, like him say, you just get connected. You'll go, whatever the meeting is. And I don't care which one you find that works for you, was AA, NA, Celebrate Recovery, just a church. It doesn't really matter if you find the right group.
Yeah, and it's more just surrounding yourself with good people, you know, and being able to pick up the phone and call somebody. And
Yep.
you know,
And that's cool. And I'm blessed because I got people like Matt in my life. He knows I'm going through some tough times right now with my wife's been sick. He doesn't miss. He calls every day to check on me,
yeah.
make sure I'm okay.
Well, I mean, because everything you did for me, you know, and that's why I'm here to help in whatever way
So,
I can.
That's what it's really about, everybody. We're meant to be servants, and we each have talents that God has given us, and we need to find out what those talents, what those gifts are, and use them to help people.
Yeah,
And like you said, when you help people, it makes you feel good. So you're not only helping them, you're helping yourself.
yeah,
That's what we want to do. We want to get out there and do stuff. Now I know that there's a young lady sitting behind me, and we're not gonna do anything with her today, but she's gonna come and sit in that chair sometime soon and tell her story, so we can hear what's going on there too. So I know we're going to be a little short of our formal time, but that's okay, unless we have any call-ins that have asked any more additional questions. I think we're at an end of today, and remembering that every day is a start to another life. Okay, when you get out of a program, that's always a beginning.
Yeah.
It's not an end. Continue doing what you know that you need to do. Some people need to be in meetings for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Other people don't, but you got to know what it's you, what your requirements, what you need, and to keep the connection, as you call it.
yeah,
Whatever that connection is that helps keep you where you are. Knowing that if you're going through something, like you said, there's somebody at the end of a phone you can call and say, hey, listen,
yeah,
I'm going through this, and you just need to talk to somebody.
yeah,
So we're out there. They're there. If you know somebody that has a similar story to Matt and you want to hook up with them, give me a call. I'll get you hooked up. And Matt can be there and help you out. Again, my number is 401-864-6997. I think Thaddeus will put into the description the additional information if you need to reach me. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear that you'd like to be part of Club 100. So everybody, I thank you for being with the Road to Recovery today. And God bless you all. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you, Mike, for having me, Thaddeus.
Absolutely. Hey, folks, this has been Thaddeus, Mike, and Matt on the Road to Recovery, which is sponsored by the Flagler County Drug Court Foundation, which is hosted here at the Flagler Voice studio. Again, make sure you guys reach out to Mike to get connected, to actually help this community, because there are a lot of people that are suffering, don't necessarily want to be addicted to life-altering substances. So make sure you do your part. Make sure you reach out to him for Club 100 to help with that fundraising effort. And again, this has been Thaddeus, Mike, and Matt on the Road to Recovery. We'll see you next time.